Welcome back to my channel. The weather is changing and it's getting cold outside. This is that type of weather that make you want to curl up on the couch with a big pot of pinto beans on the stove and some cornbread Hoecakes. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you just how to do that. Okay, to get started, I have a 1-pound pack of Goya pinto beans. And the first thing you want to do is you want to sift through them and look for any beans that may be cracked or split or any beans that may not look good. You might even find a few pebbles in there. You just want to go through them really well and pick all of that out. After you've picked out all of the bad beans, you want to run some cold water over top of them, and you will start to see some beans float to the top. Just run your hand back and forth just like this, and after you do that, you may see 2 or 3 beans that float to the top. Those are the ones that you want to take out and throw away. Once you do that, the next step would be to wash your beans really well. So you just want to drain this water off of them and then run some cold water over top of them to make sure that they are good and clean. Now for my smoked meats, I'm going to be using some ham hocks, neck bones, and a little bit of salted pigtails. And I'll be cooking them along with my pinto beans because they will both take about the same length of time to cook. So in this video, I will not be soaking them. Now for the rest of my ingredients, I'll be using some onion, garlic. I'll also be using some Tony's Creole seasoning, and I'll be using some black pepper. I won't be using any extra salt because the meat that I'm using in these beans, they carry enough salt to season the beans alone. To ensure that my meats are cooked well and falling off the bone, I'm going to get them started in advance. So I like to boil them for about 30 to 40 minutes prior to me putting in my beans. That way, I know that when the beans are done, the meat will surely be tender. Now that it's been 40 minutes, it's time to add in my garlic. So I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of garlic, and I'm also going to be adding in a full cup of chopped onions. Here I'm adding in the Tony's Creole seasoning. I'm adding in my beans, and I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So then you just want to stir to combine and cover it with a lid. Now place your temperature at a medium heat so that it will cook nice and slow. So this will take approximately 3 hours before it is done. Now that we've got the pinto beans started, let's get started on our cornbread Hoecakes. Now the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of oil, and for that I'm going to be using some bacon fat. So I'm just going to cook up a couple of slices of bacon, and I'm going to use my air fryer because it makes it so much easier to do. I can just put the bacon in there and I don't even have to do nothing to it. It fries it up on its own. Plus, I don't have grease popping all over my stove, and I love that about it. And it makes it really nice and crispy, as you can see right here. Now with this, I'll just take the bacon out, and the grease is underneath that little platform there that the bacon is sitting on. I'll just pour that into a glass container, and I'm good to go. Here in this bowl, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of cornmeal, 2 teaspoons of baking powder along with 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of oil, which I'm using the bacon fat, 1 egg, and 1 cup of milk. Now you just want to stir to combine. You don't want to do too much mixing to it because you don't want to overmix it. So once you see the dry ingredients have moistened up, then your mix is ready. Now this is the easiest part because it's just like making some pancakes. You just want to pour a dollop in the middle and spread it out with your spatula. Now you can do these in small circles or one big circle. I like to do mine in a variety of sizes. That way you have some choices. Now you just want to cook them for about 5 minutes until it's golden brown. When it turns brown, just flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Now let's check on our pinto beans. They've been boiling for approximately 1 hour and the beans are still very firm. The meat has tenderized just a little bit, but these beans still have quite a way to go. So we'll just cover them back up and give them another hour and check on them again. Also, along the way, you want to taste your juice to see if it needs any seasoning or if it's too much. Now, I took my meat out after I had absorbed enough seasoning and salt from the meat, because if I leave it in there too long, then my beans will become over salted. So I took them out and put them to the side. That way the beans can continue to cook on their own. Now this is 2 hours in and the juice is starting to thicken a little, but these beans are not quite ready yet. Here we are 3 hours in and the beans are finally done. Now if you old school, you know what's getting ready to happen with all that pot liquor and them cornbread Hoecakes. Let's go ahead and plate this up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make yourself a pot of these pinto beans and cornbread Hoecakes and leave me a comment down below to let me know how it went. Until then, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.